Well, hello there. I am glad to be here with you today. And I am Ina Montgomery, and I am the founder and executive director of Urban Tech, where the TEC is the acronym for Technology Empowered Communities. And so I work to provide opportunities for technology within urban schools and communities. And it has been a great journey so far. I was officially a nonprofit in 2018. And so I am looking forward to this year with some of the plans that I have and really moving urban tech to that next level. So, a little challenge, of course, with the pandemic, but I will work as hard as I can. I am putting together some home STEAM kits that will go out to probably elementary school aged kids. So, I'm excited about that. And just some other things that are going on. I did actually have a guest scheduled for today, as I promised last week. And unfortunately, at the last minute, she did have to postpone. And so she will be here next week. So I'm looking forward to having her with us next week. And that would be Christine Chandler, who is with the Center School District. So she will be the guest with us for next week. And in the meantime, as always, I'm just going to keep it moving. So when I was thinking about the topic for today, what to talk about, I was thinking about a panel that I'll be serving on in March about the pandemic and the impact on K-12 students and basically what's going on. And so, as we know, and as I have reported here, there are a lot of things going on, a lot of things that are not going on that should be going on. So, say for example, I did come across a space to host a learning pod. So I have pursued that with one organization who I thought had a need, and they at this time don't have the funds to support that. So I will continue on my quest to identify parents and families who are interested in having a space for their child to go to where they could still, and it's set up just like all the other places, the Boys and Girls Club, Operation Breakthrough, Big Brothers Big, I'm not even sure Big Brothers Big Sisters is doing it, but there are currently spaces set up where students do have the opportunity to go there instead of staying at home, listen to their classroom teacher online, and then get immediate assistance by way of a tutor, a facilitator who can help them with their classwork. And so I also, as I've been saying, would like to set up a learning pod to also provide that service. And so I have found a space. And so now it's time to find some parents and some students or some students rather, and parents who want their students there for a nominal fee to be in that space. So stay tuned for that. I will be getting information out about that. But what I wanted to talk about today, as I'm just continually, as you guys are looking at what's going on during this pandemic and what needs to happen, one thing we already know is that the skills gap for students is widening. And so the pandemic has definitely impacted, as we would expect, that the skills, developmental skills, students being trained on what skills they need to have and being able to fine tune those, the opportunities are just not there. And so, as we know, companies need skilled workers and they need people who can come in and be ready to work. And so I'm looking through one of the articles that I found was interesting. And it talks about the fact that there's 5 skills that researchers say employers are looking for right now. And needless to say, the first one is communication. And so we know that it is a key essential skill to be able to express yourself, to have a thought, and to be able to articulate what that thought or idea is. And so if you're sitting in a brainstorm session, or you're just sitting in a company meeting and they're going around the room asking for input, asking for ideas, how can we improve? How can we make things better? I don't care if it's fast food. I don't care if it's retail. Those types of meetings happen because companies are always looking for ways to reach their customers and to improve. And so asking the people who are on the front line, how should we do those things, is something that happens usually or frequently. So being able to, raise your hand and say, hey, I have an idea and here it is. And then being able to articulate it so that it is well understood is definitely a key skill that is in demand for employers. Problem solving. I talk about this a lot, or I know I have in the past, being able to have the ability to be given a task, break it down into components, and then be able to process through what needs to happen to solve that particular problem or to complete that particular task. And so with that, you've got analytical skills coming into play. You've got critical thinking skills coming into play. In fact, analytical, now that I'm looking, is the next skill, but you've got to be able to problem solve. You've got to be able to be given something and figure it out for yourself. And so with that, you've got to be resourceful. And so you can't have tunnel vision when you're at a job. You have to be able to look around. You have to be able to see everything that's there. And then you have to be able to have good communication skills where you're asking questions and you're finding out more information about that particular task so that you can solve it. And so as I was looking at those first two, it reminded me of one of the plaques that I have up in my space, which are the 4 C's of 21st century skills: communication, creativity, critical thinking / problem solving, and collaboration. Of course, collaboration. Can you be a team player? Can you work with other people? A lot of kids these days, and I know me and some of my friends and teachers have acknowledged their emotional IQ is very low, if you will. They get very offended quickly, and you can't have that happen in a workplace. It's not personal. It really is just business. And so with the pandemic, it's just widening the lack of ability for students to learn these skills and to practice these skills and to be around other people and to know that they have to get along with other people. So far we've got the top 5 from this article that I read: communication being first, problem solving, and now analytical skills. And so it says that it's important to be able to think critically. Your actions are based on the types of questions you ask and others on a daily basis. Could they change the type of answer you get? So businesses everywhere are facing and making tough choices, from budgeting, changing headcount. What's clearly evident is that focused thinking can help at every level of an organization. So again, being able to say on a task or a job that you have that you do every day, looking for better ways to do that job, problem solving, going to your manager saying, hey, this particular task that I'm doing, it takes 5 steps, but I've looked at it over time. And in fact, I've shortened it down to 3. And, I want to run this by you, make sure that, and there's no threat, if you will, to the quality. And so that's going to be their major concern. Is the quality of what you're doing still at a high level, but at a lower cost? Now, those are words right there that a company wants to hear. Oh, you found a way to streamline something, or to take 2 steps out, or to take 3 steps out, and we're still getting the same results, if not better, and it's not costing me as much. And so that if you can do that on a job, you have just added value to yourself. The next one, so we've got what? Communication, analytical skills, problem solving, and number 4. These are the 5 top things that employers are looking for. Customer service is number 4. So regardless of the industry, it doesn't matter. Mom and pops, somebody who just opened a business that has been in years forever. If customers don't get good customer service, if they don't feel good when they go into a place or when they leave a place, the likelihood of them returning is not very high, but the likelihood of them telling somebody about that bad experience is definitely high. And so definitely what comes to mind there, and I think all of us know they've got it down to a science, is Quick Trip. When you walk in the door, they acknowledge you. And when you leave, it's have a good day. And so those employees are trained. Those employees know that line can only get but so long. They don't want customers waiting at the front counter. If somebody's sweeping a broom, they will put that broom down. They'll go wash their hands and then they'll come. No, I have never experienced a bad attitude at Quick Trip. They will come, and if they're in a bad mood, you wouldn't know it. And so that is how they're trained, and that is what they're known for. And I've always said, during these racial times and high sensitivity things going on, I always felt that Quick Trip was this, and I don't want to say utopia because that's a little bit too far, but it is a space where, somebody's going to hold the door, a man, a woman, a boy, a girl, a child, everybody holds the door for the person coming in, going out. Then you've got your salespeople who are cordial. The place is clean. So, and again, that was my extreme example of customer service. And then I think about some places, some restaurants who could have been family owned, and they just did not provide good customer service. And so when the pandemic hit, they didn't have any loyal customers. They had that, loyal family members, maybe close friends who continued to go to that space, but other people made other decisions with their money. So customer service is key. And then the last thing here they've got is leadership. It says leadership is all about the ability to have clear list of priorities so that everybody knows what's going on. And so as people work together, there's got to be, somebody who has set the agenda, somebody who has said, here's what we're reaching for. Here's our goal for customer service. Here's our goal for communication. Here's the expectation for problem solving. Here's the expectation for analytical skills. Then the employees know, okay, this is what I'm reaching for. The company's saying they want it right here. I might be here. I need to up my game. And then you reach out to, if you need some additional assistance, you reach out to HR, you reach out to a mentor. You reach out to your manager, you reach out to somebody to find out, what do I need to do to up my skills so that I can stay job secured and so I can stay in this position. So those are the 5 skills that researchers say employers are looking for right now. And so we know that the skills gap in technology is still wide. And so one of the articles I found actually talked about the fact that, let me see, why skills, not degrees, that's the name of the article, will shape the future of work. And so this goes on to talk about how if you have skills, and let me see if I can find that one sheet, because I was really surprised at the top 10 skills they had. And I wanted to take a minute on that because there's one that I know I am an advocate, or it's my pet peeve. All right, so I'm gonna keep looking. But what I'm looking for is a list that has Microsoft Office as a skill. Here it is, top 10 skills you need, and this is referring to on your LinkedIn profile. So even if you're just a high school graduate, you should still have a LinkedIn profile. On that profile, you can talk about the volunteer work that you did because it was required for you to get a degree. I know it's challenging if you're a current high school senior during the pandemic, But for students that came out in 2020 and earlier, you should be able to list volunteerism on your LinkedIn profile in addition to whatever job that you had, and employers will understand you by having a LinkedIn profile and being 18, 19 years old. It's showing initiative. It's showing that you're trying to establish yourself. Okay, so anyway, back to my list. So the top 10 skills you need: communication, we talked about that. Here it's showing up again. Problem solving, you have to be able to show that you're able to solve problems. So as you're going to find out, as I did when I was doing the research for this show, the same skills keep coming up. This is how important they are to employers for you to have. So now we've got number 1, communication. Number 2, problem solving. 3, operations, meaning can you show that you're able to work within a system or that you understand how the system works? Can you explain it? Even if you're at a fast food, you should know every aspect of that job. You should know what the people at the French fry station have to do. You know, how hot should that oil be? The people who are flipping the burgers, you know, how hot should the grill be? People who are working the drive-through line. Those are all the operations of that fast food place. It could be a dry cleaning business, you know, intake. I've got people coming through the door. I've got to take in their clothes. I have to write down. These are all associated with operations. Analytical skills again. And so here we see, can you think? Do you have critical thinking skills? Can you analyze a problem? Can you say, okay, I've been given this task, I've been given this problem, how do I start? And so you might want to start with the end in mind. And that brings me to the 7 Habits of Highly Effective Teens. And this is a good book on soft skills. I know a lot of people have gone through it. Unfortunately, they don't teach this as often as they should. I think some schools do. But these 7 habits here, I'm going to say there, it was the one that says, oh gosh, start with the end in mind. And I'm not seeing it, it's not popping out. But anyway, that's a skill to have. So if you don't know how to get to where you're going, you can say, okay, where do I need to get? So when I'm looking at, okay, I need to get over there. Now, what are my steps to get over there? Thinking analytically, critically, asking for help, identifying the resources that you need. Number 5 on this list, top 10 skills, Microsoft Office. Why is that so important? It's so important because the workforce uses Microsoft Office Suite. So when I say Microsoft Office Suite, S-U-I-T-E, I am referring to what? Word, PowerPoint, Excel, SharePoint. I can't even think of the other ones off the top. They have a whole suite of Microsoft Office products. I am sorry, people, but this list does not say Google Docs, Google Forms, Google Slides, and I get it. There are, let me just say, I believe there is a small percentage of companies who do use the Google platform, because you do have the ability to share documents, although you can share documents in Microsoft Office. And so the reality is, if you look at the workplace on a national level, it is Microsoft Office. It is not Google Docs. And when you look at the two, the interfaces of those two different products are very similar. However, the nuances, I think, are big enough for you to, and be by platform. How about that? So you say, no, I've done Google my whole time in high school. This is what I know. That's fine. Take that knowledge, transfer it over to Microsoft Office. It's very easy because the interfaces are very similar. The commands are very similar, but you must know Microsoft Office to be successful in the workplace. Again, I don't know the percentages. I don't have that information in front of me. I just know that this article that I'm reading is from December 2020, and it is listing Microsoft Office suite. It doesn't say suite, but I know it's the whole suite of skills that you need to know. Project management is number 6. Are you able to be given a project and can you manage it? Are you working with other people? Meaning that you're collaborating. Remember, I said the 4 C's is collaboration. Are you able to say, okay, I'm giving you, and your boss or somebody might just give you a real small thing. Hey, I'm gonna give you this small project. I need for you to see it through till the very end. Are you able to do that? Are you able to communicate in the process? And are you able to be a good project manager? And if it's something that you find that you like, go for your certification. Be a PMI. Go through PMI, Project Management Institute, and become known as a project manager, meaning that you can be given something and you can manage it with no problem. Presentations, number 7. Are you able to give a presentation? You see, I'm very comfortable in giving presentations, been doing it for I don't even know how many years. So getting in front of people is not scary for me. Probably depends on how large the crowd is, but once I get out there, I'm able to make a presentation. And then in making a presentation, it's just like writing a story. And so people think taking English, in high school, why am I doing this? I'm never going to use it again. Yes, you are, because the presentation is basically what? An opening, you have the middle, and then you have the closing, or you have the end. And so you have to introduce the topic, which is your agenda, your itinerary, you present yourself, you give the information, and then you summarize and you conclude. And those are the parts of any story. So presentation skills are essential to be successful. Marketing, are you able to know, hey, I've got this, blue water bottle. How am I going to market it? How am I going to sell it? How am I going to make people attracted to it so they purchase it? Because at the end of the day, that's what companies want. They want to be able to attract customers to their product. And so again, if you have any suggestions, you have to be able to communicate, tell your manager, your boss, whoever, hey, why don't we sell it? Why don't we market it this way? What about this group of people? Have we marketed to them? So marketing is essential. Look again, customer service and leadership. Those are the last 2 on this list. You come over here. And so again, as I said, there's nothing new under the sun, you all. And so all these skills are skills that are out there, skills that you must have in order to be successful in this 21st century workplace. With the challenge of the pandemic, with the challenge of online working, online learning, and online living. And the reality is, I know 3 people who got new jobs during this pandemic. It might be a little bit more challenging than pre-pandemic, but it's possible. So you can't sit down saying, "Oh, I can't get a job," this. Oh my gosh, there are so many jobs listed online, so you can definitely do that. Now, going back to you as the person, you might not say, "Oh, that sounds good that you're saying, Miss Montgomery of Urban Tech, DigiSys in a Digi world," but I don't know any of that stuff you're talking about. I don't even know who I am. Guess what? Here we go again. Another resource. Take the Strengths Quest. This will help you. Now, a lot of tools that are out there, they're not like the end all, but at least it gives you an idea, who am I? What are my strengths? Do I have a strength of administration? Do I have a strength of organization? Am I a visionary person? Or am I that detail-oriented person where you say, hey, I need for this to happen. And you say, oh, okay, well, let me get my list because I need to do da-da-da-da-da-da-da. That's detail oriented. And so, but you have to know yourself. The other thing is one of my partners and supporters is the DeBruce Foundation. For the conference that I had a couple of weeks ago, they provided their Agile workforce profiler That again is another tool that people can use to find out, what are my skills, what are my interests, and that will help you again to identify who you are. Now, back in the day, and Mr. Walker probably remembers this, and some of you other old school people, we did the Myers-Briggs, 300 questions. I can't remember what it was. I just know I was happy when the David Kiersey temperament came along, and I took that. And it's similar to Myers-Briggs, just not as many questions. So there are a lot of tools out there where you can look, because some people are saying you might be a senior in high school, a senior in college, or just a senior. You might be over 20, 30, whatever, and say, I don't know who I am. I don't know what my skills are. I don't know what I like. These tools are opportunities just to get some information. Again, they're not, the only thing that's out there, but at least it's something. 7 Habits of Highly Effective Teens. This book is so old, but it's so relevant, and it's so timely. The information is timeless, and it's very invaluable to go through this. In fact, you know what? I might offer this as a book club again. I did that before, and just could not find the students to participate. And so that's a whole nother conversation, but it's one that needs to be had, because students don't know what they don't know. Therefore, they go forward with what they think they know. And then what happens is, after they graduate from high school, because I'm dealing with some right now, they find out, oh, I don't know anything. Oh, I don't think I was ready for the world. And me and a couple other people are sitting back like, duh, tried to tell you, tried to help you. And so some are assessing right now and evaluating, trying to figure out what do they want to do when they grow up. And then some are asking, why don't I have the skills to be successful? They're getting into colleges, but they're overwhelmed, so they're dropping out. And so, again, whole nother conversation. But the more students can know about themselves, and again, taking the strength profiler, or I'm sorry, the strengths quest, taking the Agile workforce profiler, attending classes or any kind of session about the 7 habits of highly effective teens. And so habits, we know, are what? Things that we do, highly effective. This means that this is a person who wants to be successful. This is a person who says, give me the tools. What do I need to do to structure my life to be successful? They want to be highly effective. And of course, we know that this is Sean Covey. And then the father, Franklin Covey, had that whole series for years. And I think people still use it, the whole system on time management, and 7 habits of highly effective, I think, people. I haven't seen the book in so long. I used to read that. I used to follow it, the time management system, corporations paid for it, and all that good stuff. So in summary, we're looking at the 4 C's of 21st century skills. I read, I think, 2 articles: communication, creativity. And I just want to talk creativity. When somebody asks you about an idea, don't shrug your shoulders. Oh, no, that's not what anybody wants to hear. It might be, give yourself some time. You know what? I'm thinking about it. Let me think. Go on to the next person. But do not shrug your shoulders and say, I don't know. I have no ideas. Think, think, think. Problem solving, critical thinking, really dig deep into sharing what's on your mind, because you never know. It might be something small, and you might put it out there, and then one of your coworkers or one of your team members, or whoever you're working with, business partner, might say, oh, wait a minute, if we take what you just said and do this, or take what you said and put this twist on it, we might have something. So you never know. So all that to say, there is no bad idea. Share what you have, and be confident in it. Be confident in what you say, confident in what you do. And even though you're not sure, even though you might be afraid, you want to project in your voice that that you're pretty firm and sure about what you're saying. So, summarize today's show. We talked about skills and talked about an article that said why skills, not degrees, will shape. And you know what? When I see that article, you know what comes to mind. And I don't want to say a certain senator from the state of Missouri, but the words that come to mind is an educated fool. And so you can be educated and you can know a lot of stuff, but if you don't have good common sense, if you're not able to collaborate, to communicate, to be creative, and to be a critical thinker, all that knowledge is really not all that good, because then you just come across as, like I said, an educated fool, where yeah, you have the degrees, but can't think, and then your rationale for things just don't make sense to other people. So in these COVID times, there's no reason why we cannot strengthen our skills. There's a lot of free resources online. I say do a Google search. You can probably find some of these articles that I talked about. Eventually, I'm going to grow up as a nonprofit and I'm going to say, go to my website after the show and you can find copies of these articles. So give me 2 more weeks. By the end of January, I'm going to be on and popping. So just give me time. I am getting there. It is being worked on. And I think that is it. I am excited about next week's show. I hope that Miss Chandler will be able to join us. I have a lot of questions for her. She has been in this game for a long time, working with K through 12 schools in the area of education technology. And she's doing some interesting research that is really dear to me, about an area that I'm going to let her talk about next week. If she'll, disclose, I'm sure she will, but she's working on her PhD or her doctorate. Not sure which one, but her doctorate. And it's her dissertation. So we're going to have a good conversation with her next week about what she's doing. And again, thank you for being here for those who are. And I am Ina P. I see Zoom recording still on.